Hey YouTube, it's been a while since I have made a dedicated video for you guys, but if I haven't mentioned it before, I am now a full-time Rocket League content creator. No longer am I working my software job alongside it, and now that my original event that I ran when I announced that news is over, I'm going to have some more time for the YouTube because I was streaming all day, every day before, and I wasn't able to convert all of that into YouTube videos, but I might actually try and do that now that I have a little bit of time to edit. But for now, for this first week back to Rocket League YouTube in 2025, we are going to cover a few teams that I think you should be interested in the coming RLCS, because if you haven't been paying attention, it's about to start up again, and the teams are not the same as what you remember them being. Specifically, the biggest news is alongside the player we're watching right now, which is Zen. Zen is playing alongside Monkey Moon, and they are teammates now. Zen, Monkey Moon, and Exotic, which if you did watch the previous RLCS, you might remember that the world champions were actually Monkey Moon, Exotic, and Drally, and not often do the world champions switch up, as Zen going for a pass between himself. I can't believe he didn't bump both players, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, if he had bumped both players after that and scored it, but he does only get only one. You might be wondering, why is the world champions, mixing up? Why aren't they staying together? Shouldn't they be the best team in the world? And basically, I think Monkey Moon mentioned it, and some other players saying, sticking together doesn't seem to work. Players who are playing at the top level end up usually not having the best follow-up season. In fact, Monkey Moon himself is probably an example with his BDS squad, showing that, you can't just stay stagnant and stay good forever, as he's going to get a nice reset tap around both players in order to get the first goal. And so they're trying to get ahead of themselves. Monkey Moon and Exotic and Zen, everyone trying to stay at the top. Now, Zen did need to change. That was clear, but Monkey Moon maybe didn't. Either way, he is going to leave BDS. BDS is really the biggest loser here, considering that their world championship team did not, even change under their banner. They just completely left their banner because they went to Vitality. Zen is signed long-term to Vitality, and if you're Vitality, you're not giving him up, and if you're Monkey Moon and Exotic, you're willing to go to Vitality just to meet him there. So that is going to be the new roster. So we'll watch a little bit of Zen and Monkey Moon playing together as they're going to pass back and forth into this Zen reset double top left with the last bit of boost he has. That is the Zen we are used to seeing. Now, we've seen Zen and Monkey Moon play together just a little bit. They have played alongside Vatira in the FIFA E World Cup. I recommend going and watching some VODs of that if you can find them, if you didn't know about that, in which Rocket League was played with actual World Cup rules, players from their nations playing for their nations. So the France team was Monkey Moon, Zen, and Vatira, as Zen is going to boom a long shot out past Mozzarella to make it 3-0. And we've also seen Zen, Monkey Moon, and Exotic play in Arm the Rebels, but specifically it was a 2v2 tournament, a 2v2 crew battle tournament where we get to see all their different duos, in which I don't think Zen and Monkey Moon were necessarily undefeated, but they were definitely one of the, Vitality ended up winning the whole tournament, so I guess all of the different matchups were strong, and Zen and Monkey Moon is going to be the one we're focusing on today. We have two ranked replays of Zen and Monkey Moon. Now, despite all the hype and a lot of people, being willing to put this team as number one, which totally makes sense considering the fact that of the world champions, 2 out of the 3 of them are on this team, and 1 of them has moved away over to KC. But we've actually had a little bit of RLCS played. The RLCS really starts up this next weekend. You should check out my stream. I've been doing live streams on YouTube as well. We probably will stick with that, I think, doing watch parties. So I highly recommend coming by to check those out. That'll be this Friday, where we'll get to watch some of this Vitality roster. But all that being said, we actually already went live with some because there is 2 weeks of qualifications. It's usually very easy for these top teams to make it through that first week. But Vitality struggled a little bit. There are now 2 Swisses that are played in that first week. So 32 teams down to 16 using 2 different Swiss groups. And all the other teams you'd expect to do well kind of did, with the exception of Vitality. Now, the Vitality didn't do that poorly, but they did lose their very first game in that Swiss to a fast-forward team that was looking good, but then ended up not qualifying. So not even a top 16 team they ended up losing to. So maybe a little bit of worries. And I think the bigger thing is not only that, sure, you can lose sometimes, but they didn't look as solid or as dominant as maybe some of their fellow top dogs in the region look. In fact, they might not even look like the number 1 team necessarily, but I guess we'll really have to see after this weekend. They can make up for all of that. But there's no question whether or not they're the number 1 team right now. They've looked the best in the first few games. Zen is going to go for a bump and make it easy on Monkey Moon, who made sure not to rush it. He noticed his teammate was going for the bump, and so he waited it out. But this is the end of game 1. They decided to hop out as a 4-0 run. Not a single goal scored from Mozzarella and Matt, who are good players in their own right, but we haven't really had time to talk about them. Instead, let's go to the second game. For the second game, we head over to Beckwith Park with Monkey Moon. Looks like AFK at the start of this one. Zen was going to try and 1v2, but Monkey Moon has showed up. I don't know if Zen knew that Monkey Moon was AFK because he instantly went to go take the kickoff from him. But they're going to be playing against, you know, 2/3 of an Italian team that has played well and actually made top 16. Devoof and Hyder playing, I believe, alongside Dead Monster, if I'm remembering this correctly, as Zen gets up for an air dribble. But I think everyone's going to have their eyes on this Zen and Monkey Moon roster. Interesting decision from Zen, who did not want to take that high. Instead, just plays it so much smarter. I mean, we get so used to players insisting that they play aerial plays every time they have an opportunity. But what Zen noticed is nobody is forcing me to actually make this play. I can let the ball drop down to the ground without anybody stealing it away. And I can set up a very easy pass to Monkey Moon that will result in a much simpler, much more effective shot. And goes to show why you really cannot let Zen have any second on the ball, as he's going to use a bunch of creative dashing here to get going quickly. This time, maybe he is getting a bit overzealous, as he was hoping for a huge miss from Devoof that's not going to show up. Big double whiff from Monkey Moon and Devoof. Now Zen has a 1v1 on Hyder if he can play it quick enough, but not really able to. Oh my goodness, everybody is just flipping around. Monkey Moon doing the same thing. We just saw this in the previous game. Monkey Moon, the old wise man, realizing I'm just going to sit here and let everybody absolutely fling themselves around in panic before Zen does the last little bump to give me a wide open net. And it will be a 2-0 lead for the French team. So over the next few days, I'm going to try and highlight a few more teams and a few more changes that I think are exciting. So make sure to check them out. We'll see how many we can get to. Some of the teams I couldn't find 2v2 replays of them playing together, so there might have to be, you know, slight edits, including some of the players, but I think it'll be solid games all the same to check out. As Monkey Moon gonna leave the ball off for Zen, who gets a couple good bounces and puts the ball, I would say, in a perfect spot, but really for a much slower dribble. If you're gonna try and absolutely boom the ball like Zen did, it's probably a little bit too close to net to really find a read. 2v2 is, you know, forced to be played a little bit faster than we are used to seeing in the 1v1. Zen is going to outplay both, and that is not too much of a surprise. We've seen him do that many times, as his squad is now up 3-0. They have yet to be scored on in the two most recent replays that Zen and Monkey Moon have played together. That is how I pulled these out. This one was from December 21st, I believe. Zen pre-jumping a heavier touch from Hyder. And even though it did not end up making his way to him, it's because it fell short and into the hands of his teammates. So I don't think he's going to feel too disappointed about that, as Devoof pre-jumps him. And 50's one, and he was actually planning to 50 the second before Monkey Moon was able to steal it away. And his attempt to drop at midfield not going to work. Zen careful to retreat and at least forced Hyder to go high. Seemed like a chance to get scored on. But Zen managing to keep them out alive. Monkey Moon demoed high in the air, but another quick camera check. What I've seen from Zen right now is just really great awareness on what he has time to do. Fully, you know, privy to what the opponents are giving him and what they're forcing him to do. In this case, giving him space to get that setup. And now up 4-0, snags a little demo. So he's got a sidewall dribble, a respawning defender, and a defender on the back wall. They're going to quickly challenge. Now he'll let Monkey Moon go to work. Oh my goodness, Monkey Moon just going to double it in. And that'll be it. 5-0, 5-0. I think that this team is going to look pretty good. You know, like I said before, if you didn't see the games, you can check out the VOD from the watch party. Zen and Monkey Moon maybe weren't able to win their first series, or that wasn't really their first series. They had to play, I think, really early on. They shouldn't have to do it in the future, but they had to play like the Platts in the first couple days, I'm pretty sure. But their first real potential tough series in the Swiss, they did not win. Ever since then, they did just fine. Will they be able to take the first regional? I don't know, but it's definitely a team to watch here in RLCS 2025.